You're led by the divine. Let's rise up and shine on with divine auntie.
I am so grateful for my career and the longevity that I've had. I'm super grateful to the baton that was passed to me by one of the greatest entertainers, if not the greatest entertainer ever on the planet. But what I'm also grateful for is having the opportunity to pass the baton and share some of what I learned at MJJ with future artists. Y'all, this moment backstage at Urban Y Honors was everything.
Beauty's from the inside out. Beauty's from the inside out. I know without a doubt that it's true. Beauty's from the inside out.
Keep in mind, guys, one thing. You're saying something that's going to inspire so many people, right?
Okay.
So get that inspiration from your tools and bring it up through those vocal cords. You know what I mean? Like, what are you guys saying? What do you, I'm going to ask you one by one. What are you saying?
You're saying that you don't true beauty's from the inside out.
And what does that mean?
It means that you can't judge people by how they feel they are on the outside. You gotta judge them by who they are on the inside.
Does everybody agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah. Everybody feel the same way about it?
Yeah.
So let us hear that feeling now that you guys got it, because y'all got it. So now that you have it, emote. Let's give it to us. But within the unit, you're one.
Great.
Have fun. We can hear when you're not having fun. All right.
Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and.
True beauty's from the inside out.
Yeah!
True beauty's from the inside out. I know without a doubt that true beauty's from the inside out.
One more time.
True beauty's from the inside out. True beauty's from the inside out. I know without a doubt that true beauty's from the inside out.
Perfect.
Yep.
If y'all can sing it like that, and keep in mind that each of you is an individual, but you sing together collectively, and make sure you blend in that harmony, it's incredible. What do you think? Sounds good? You want to add something?
No, it's all good.
Yeah?
We need to
You
keep
good?
that.
You there?
Just ain't feel.
Good. Y'all want to get that
We
note?
keep that. We good.
All right?
Yeah.
Is there another note, or do you don't want to
There's
confuse them with the
there's
other
a couple
notes?
more notes.
We just, yeah.
We just want to stick to a melody.
We need to make sure
Now,
Everybody
Tight.
doing a melody,
Right, yeah.
and then from there, okay. So,
just to get a sense of the voices and the blend, we'll just keep everybody on the melody.
So-
Yeah.
you want to go in and
Yeah, sure.
run it down, baby girl? Absolutely. Do you know where it is?
No, where am I supposed to?
I'm so proud of these two. Artist development is everything. Talent will get you noticed, but discipline, work ethic, and community give you longevity. And the proof is in the pudding. At the end of the day, do artist development. From the Jacksons to the Baileys to the R&B divas, baby. Greatness is developed, not accidental. Longevity comes from the work. There's no substitute for real artist development, period. So let's get the culture back to the greatness.
Subscribe and you'll see the power of divine TV.
Hey, what's happening, beautiful people? What's up? What's up? What's up, sexy people? Welcome to another episode of Nights with Nicci. I'm your host, Nicci Gilbert Daniels. Miss Daniels, if you nasty. So come on in here, you guys. Make sure y'all share this. Make sure you guys repost this. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend that Nights with Nicci is back again. You guys, this is an old pair of glasses, and it just matched my Michael Jackson Thriller shirt, so I decided to wear it tonight. And let's just get in the formalities out of the way. I'm sorry, YouTube and folks. I'm looking down because I'm looking at my Instagram people and making sure y'all are good up in there. What's up, Instagram? I see you. Let's do some housekeeping, but before... Hold on, do I have lipstick on my teeth? No. Before we do the housekeeping, let me let you guys know I'm rocking this matte color from my sister Debbie's collection. Yes, all I wanted, well, I mean, not all I wanted, of course, I wanted so much more as it relates to my baby sister, but I kidnapped her lipstick collection because our other sister doesn't wear makeup as often as I do. So, you guys, tonight I am rocking my sister Debbie's. I think this is the one that Rihanna did for Mac. I want to say, you know how I be rubbed off and you can't see the color, and you get old and you can't see the color. That's what's happening here. But welcome everybody. Welcome to tonight's with Nicci. I'd like to say tonight is going to be hopefully a conversation where we walk away feeling like, collectively we contributed to a conversation and a dialogue that I think is really important for us to have. So if you paid attention to what was going on in this subject line, first of all, let me get some shout outs in. Let me get some shout outs in real quick, fast, and in a hurry. Shout out to all my people watching me on YouTube. I see you, J Rock. Absolutely. I'm so glad you missed the last live, but you are here now. Thank you so much. I am so glad that you're here. I know there are a lot of places that you could go to get some juicy, salacious, over the top gossip. And I'm so glad that you guys decided to come here. What's up, TikTok? Let me come over here and say hi to my TikTok. I see you, Lady T. I see you, Jay. I see you, Somalia. I see you, Precious. I see you, My Smile Times. I see you, Ty. I see you, Nene. Listen, I had 600 people on TikTok Live on my other live. So TikTok is obviously not ruled by the dreaded algorithm. However, let me say hi to these two people over here on Instagram. I'm still going to give you guys some love on IG, even though, Instagram don't like me. I'm convinced Instagram just don't like me because, like I said, ain't no reason on God's green earth. I ain't that unlikable. And I'm not giving you information that's not that important. That 2 out of 200,000 people, and I'm gonna say it every time I can because I just think it's absolutely ridiculous. And I know that some of you can agree with me. What is the point of having 200,000 followers when the live only goes out to 2 people? I don't know, but we're gonna keep the Instagram going because those 2 people deserve just as much love as anybody else. So yes, you guys, tonight we are going to have what I feel in my heart is a long overdue conversation about. Oh, I'm sorry. I left some people out. My apologies. Thank you, X, because y'all be showing up. I appreciate you guys. And thank you, LinkedIn, because y'all be showing up too. I appreciate y'all as well. Thank you. Anybody who comes in, hey, Mo Love. Yes, Mo Love and Silky Blue and the Electric Bird. I don't know what's going on, but whatever, you guys. Instagram, I love y'all, all 2 of y'all. So guys, first, let me take a sip. I'm a Topo Chico head. And I've heard that it is better than regular water, mineral water. Now, you can argue with me because I'm on a health kick, but I'm not a nutritionist, so I don't know for sure, but I've heard that every chance you can, get yourself some mineral water because it does really fabulous things. Anyway, guys, I want to shout out again TikTok. Thank you so much. The last live that we did, there were 600 viewers on there. So I just really appreciate you guys. Instagram, I'm not giving up on y'all. I'm not giving up. No way. I'm not giving up on y'all. Y'all the oldest, and whatever. It is what it is. But anyway, tonight's conversation is not about gossip. It is not about cancel culture. It is not about talking about things that we don't know anything about. We try to have, semi-intelligent conversations over here. Sometimes we get a little ratchet and silly. And it's not about deciding whether someone is guilty or innocent, or in anybody's specific case, okay? But I feel like we should have this conversation. I feel like this conversation is kind of long overdue, especially, well, not long overdue. We see it and we hear it in the news and in the media all the time. But the question is, will I ever leave you? The answer is no. Oh, no. Oh, no. No. Will I ever leave you? Will I do your will? And when will Jesus return? And I want you to know soon, 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 soon. I don't know what's going on in the world, y'all. I have no idea. Please hit like as you come in. Please hit like. I have no idea what's going on in this world. But I do know that what is happening in this world is scary. It is very, very, very scary, especially for those of us who really care, who care about humanity, who care about one another, who care about our youth, who care about what honestly I have to say is anyway is this is not about any one specific case. This conversation we finna have tonight is about something so much bigger and something that is so much harder for us to face. I'm trying to give all of y'all some face time. Every few months, we watch the same cycle play out. Another powerful man, another accusation, and another woman, or in some cases, other men, telling their story. It's crazy. And almost every single time that ending is the same. Now, what do I mean by that ending is the same? We know what it is. It's either a settlement or a statement or a resignation, or there are no consequences at all. Scot-free. Nothing to see here. So tonight I want to ask the question that many of us are probably thinking, and that is, and a lot of us rarely say out loud, except for your girl, because I will say some shit out loud that some people may deem inappropriate, but it is truthful, and it is coming from a place of wanting to, promote healing and positivity out here. I know that because I'm not out here just doing, the whole bashing of celebrities and, whatnot. Well, anyway, let me, this is not about me. So tonight I want to ask the question that a lot of us want to know. And that is, with these odds, right? Is this industry, and not just the entertainment industry, because we're seeing it at a very high level in this country, is this industry or this country actually safe for women, actually safe for victims? And I'm just really I'm asking the question because I really want to know if it is possible for victims to receive real justice, victims of any of it. We don't need to know the names. We don't need to discuss the names. Every time you look up, it's a different name. Because if you talk about this one, you might as well be talking about this one. And if you talk about that one, you might as well be talking about the other one. So naming the people in here, right, is not even really necessary, because it's a lot of motherfuckers out here participating in egregious behavior. Thank you, Time Is Now Soccer. I figured that I will put my Supreme Court earrings on. I mean, shit, I paid for them and they sterling silver. Shit. And I ain't getting no justice, so I might as well wear some earrings that make it, worth my trip to DC. Anyway, we all know the headlines, y'all, right? We don't need to know the names. We know the headlines. Powerful men are accused of egregious behavior. Women and victims come forward. Oftentimes it's years later. We don't have the same empathy or the same sympathy for the victims because the victims are now adults, right? So now it's kind of like you don't really see them as victims, right? But the lawsuits get filed. Millions get paid quietly, allegedly. Right? This is a non-defamatory conversation, especially since some of the players in the recent allegations I just got out of a little something with. So I definitely don't want, I know I got these earrings on from my time at the Supreme Court, but I don't want to go back to court with nobody. Careers pause, and then all of a sudden everything just resumes and goes back to normal, right? This pattern crosses all industries. It used to just be, not used to just be, when you think about Weinstein, when you think about R. Kelly, when you think about who else in the industry, y'all, Weinstein, R. Kelly, Epstein, you know what I'm saying? Diddy, you know what I mean? Bill Cosby, right? It felt like it was kind of more or less an industry thing. But now it's across industries. It's in entertainment, it's in politics, it's in media, and it's in corporate America, right? The most powerful industries that exists. But what is most disturbing isn't just the behavior, right? It's not just the behavior, y'all, of or that the alleged behavior, the behavior being alleged. It's how predictable the outcomes of people filing these lawsuits is. It's just Tyson, Pac, Kobe, MJ. But let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about Tyson, Pac, and MJ in particular. Hold on, let me get my pen because y'all gonna have me all over the motherfucking place. And this motherfucker tonight, I can already see it's gonna be one of them nights. Pac, MJ, and Mike Tyson. You guys, I'm getting a lot of compliments on my earrings. I really appreciate you guys. Please hit the like button as you guys come in. When you hit the like button and you give me hearts, any activity tells the people that y'all are digging this content. Now I know Instagram with my 1,000 followers and this my ain't nobody gonna repost or retweet and whatever. Instagram is not gonna let you see it, but it'll be here for those of you who decide to watch this shit later. It's a damn shame. 200,000. I'm a lay into it every opportunity I get. Why you beating that damn dead horse, Nicci? Don't pay attention to them folks over at Instagram. No, Instagram.com. I want y'all to know. Don't make no damn sense that I had 600 people watching me on TikTok and I got 5,000 followers over there. And I had 200 the other day on what's the other app? Elon's app, TikTok, X. And I got 200,000 on Instagram because you don't want people to get this messaging because somebody done told you that I be telling too much of the truth. So you don't want the truth to get out to people to shame the devil. But anyway, thank you guys for the compliments on the earrings. Yes, y'all can already see it's going to be one of those nights. Just one of them days. Shout out to Brandy and Monica on your tour. Congratulations. So what's super disturbing about this is the outcomes are always the same. It's never going to be a trial, or rarely a trial. There's rarely going to be a full accounting of what had happened was, and it's rarely going to be justice, at least not in the way that we imagine it, right? So let's just unpack this a little bit, you guys. We gonna have the smart friends conversation tonight. This is not going to be all gossip and innuendo. It's just going to be really us trying to unpack and figure out. It won't let you repost. Thank you. I see that. It will not let people retweet or reshare my Instagram. So Instagram, if you would like to come over, or TikTok or any of the other outlets, if you would like to come over and see this thing full screen where you can see all of the wonderful paintings that my husband did. TikTok, y'all can't see him. Y'all can kind of see him. Let me show y'all TikTok. That's the studio TikTok. Y'all can see I move things around for TikTok to see that. But Instagram, I can't move it around for y'all to see because I got y'all looped into this thing. And if you want to see the big picture and whatnot, come to wirf.tv or worthtv.com and check me out on the YouTube channel, or even on X, or LinkedIn for that matter. Shout out to LinkedIn. LinkedIn is so poised and professional. You're like, oh, here's this big mouth ass bitch in here, just ghetto and cursing and, But let me say something real quick before I get into, we're about to get into accountability and what it looks like for power. But I just want to say this real quick about MJ, Pac, and Mike Tyson, right? Here's the thing. And this is the reason why I don't want to name any particular or specific name in this here situation. People do get set up. That does exist. I don't know if you had an opportunity to see Dave Chappelle's special. If you did not, then you should check it out because it was very, very good and very, very informative. And he talks about the unstoppable Negro and what happens in those scenarios. And I love Dave mother flipping Chappelle. I just think that he is just so intelligent and brave and one of the last of the Mohicans, because there's so many cowards out here with platforms and power. And I understand it's easier when you have money. Trust me, Listen, baby, when I tell you my ass learned a real hard lesson, I'm still learning the lesson because I'm still in tremendous debt based on me trying to pursue justice, which I don't believe is possible. And we're going to get into that. I just don't believe it. I've been there and um, I've done that. And I have on the earrings to prove that I was there because I went and got these from the Supreme Court when I went up there and visited. And they basically told me, get that up out of here because, I just know that power and money, in my case, as a Black woman, the experience has been that justice is you know, something that you got to work real hard to and be super rich to actually experience. But let's talk about it. Let's be honest about what accountability usually looks like when power is involved. Because tonight I'm not talking about intellectual property theft, although we're going to tie this into why it is so important for us to have ownership of our narratives. Because just imagine if everybody in the industry, not everybody, everybody want to be. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay, this shit here for everybody. Here, okay. I told y'all earlier on my live, I like ratchet shit too, but when you think about power, right, and you think about these kind of accusations that just keep popping up, Linda, we got to be honest about what it looks like when power is involved. And 9 times out of 10, there are confidentiality agreements, confidential settlements, arbitration instead of going into a courtroom, letting that shit play out, financial penalties that are going to be absorbed by the plaintiffs for the cost of pursuing justice. Damage to your reputation if you're a powerful person and it gets out there, but you're going to be preserved in terms of wealth and access. Like they ain't taking your money, they ain't taking your access, and they're not kicking you out of the good old boys club. And there's probably a reason for that. I don't know, but allegedly the club is full of them, and they're gonna make sure that they look out for one another. It is just how it goes. And for many powerful men, accountability doesn't mean consequences. It means containment, right? We talked about the club. And for victims, whether they are male or female, it often means silence, isolation, being blackballed, threatened, careers destroyed, humiliation, and figuring out a way to survive after this explosive situation happens, turns your life upside down and sideways because you actually believe people give a flying frog leg and no one actually does. And it's just, what do you do? Right? Like, what do you do when women and victims rarely receive justice? Do you just keep pushing? Do you just assume that at some point anybody sing a Black girl song? Like Intozaki Shangi for Colored Girls. Historically, victims, whether they are male victims or female victims, and listen, I am not an expert by any stretch of the imagination. So if you are a victim, then I would encourage you to get professional help, to reach out to, even if you want to anonymously, right? There are several places. I think I was reading somewhere on my timeline. It came up that I believe, is it Tennessee? One of these states just decided that they're going to do a domestic violence registry, right? So I'm assuming, violence against women falls into sexual violence and all of that other stuff. I forgot. My headline is probably what's got the algorithm like, hell no, we're not gonna do that. So you guys make sure you guys hit the like button, make sure you guys share, because this is an important conversation, even if the algorithm and the robots don't think so. Although I had a whole conversation with chat, just trying to get updated on the latest and the greatest and trying to figure out what it knows, because it knows everything. It reads all the articles in like 60 seconds. So I'm like, what's going on? What was I even asked?
I asked the chat a lot of questions. I'm gonna get into some of the questions tonight that I asked chat and some of the responses. And I can trust these. Let me rephrase that. Be careful about the information that you get from artificial intelligence, because they're not always giving you fact. You got to fact check everything, right? And go back and double back, and especially if they're not giving you the source. And sometimes you got to go back and check the sources and whatnot. Trust me, I learned a lot from, in a short period of time. So I'm not an expert on essay. I'm not an expert on anything legal, but I have had a lot of experience in my lifetime in a lot of different ways. And what I mean by that is my mom was a victim of childhood SA. So I was a child of a survivor. Many people that I know were victims. And one of the reasons why I started, Divine Nine TV and Worth TV as well. And From the Bottom Up Foundation, which is our 501c3 nonprofit, please, if you can, you can log on to fromthebottomupfoundation.org and help support our mission to amplify the voices of underserved people in our community, creatives, women, minorities, the whole nine yards. But not everything, most of the things that I do, whether it's R&B divas, From the Bottom Up, the film Broken Things, the documentary film Broken Things, that follows the life of Sarah Stokes and what happened with her father, which is a horrible, horrible, horrible story. I've shown the trailer here several times. It will be available on divine9tv.com this in 2026. Social Conflict. Social Conflict was a movie that I wrote and with my very, very dear friend, Dwayne Barnes, who's an incredible actor. We're actually working on, he's one of my partners on It Girl. My husband and I are producing an amazing musical drama series called It Girl. It's also coming to divine9tv.com and a couple other places. I'll keep you guys posted on that. But in Social Conflict, the main character, the film opens with a young boy pow-powing the music teacher. Music teacher was played by my dad, rest in peace. The young boy was played by my nephew Jake, who did an awesome job. Woo woo. Hold on, you know what? We gotta do this. Hold on now. We gotta do this right. Oh, that's so lackluster and low brow. Come on, let's do it for real. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I don't know what's going on with my applause, but it was real low and whack. But yeah, Broken Things was a really powerful film, and we wrote it based on a true story, based on Dwayne's experiences with our music teacher. These were experiences that he had in the 80s when we were in high school. And let me just say this real quick. We're going to get right back to it. We're going to get right back to the subject because I got a lot of stuff to touch on this. I'm just going to go on ahead and say it ahead of time. This shit is probably going to be a little long tonight. And I'm going to get to some of y'all Q&A and all that other stuff. But it's very important to have this conversation. So Dwayne and I did this amazing short film. And matter of fact, I'll probably put it up on the Divine Night TV YouTube channel. All I ask is that you guys subscribe to watch it. And the YouTube is at Divine9 TV. But this music teacher, who we thought was a really nice person, who so many people in the school, our parents, we trusted him. Trusted him so much that our parents used to drop us off when we had competitions and stuff, because the competitions would be like super early, especially if we had to drive far. It's a true story, you guys. I lived it. I didn't have the experience that my friends had. But that is why the person who did it can burn in hell with his fake ass and terrible ass. He's no longer here. Thank God. Because he was a monster. And the reason I call him a monster, Tillis, is because we loved that man so much. We trusted that man so much. Our families trusted that man so much. If you a creep and everybody know you a creep, you know what I'm saying? You know them creepy motherfuckers. You know them creeps. You know them creeps I'm talking about.
The ones that you just kind of be like, you ain't going over there. Nah, you ain't gonna be unattended with. Ooh, it's 11:11, you guys. I'm sorry. Got to do this. Dear God, bless everybody on this live. Bless anybody who will lay eyeballs on it and watch it, dear Jesus. Help heal those who are sick. Help heal those that are grieving. Please protect and save our children and any victims of any egregious, terrible behavior, Lord God. Bless us mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially, Lord. Rain down on us in positive ways, Jesus. Protect this entertainment industry. There's too much power in this industry, Lord God. Protect us in this industry. Protect us from tongues that don't know what they are speaking and the damage they are causing from doing so. In your mighty name, I pray. Bless everybody in the space of this live. Amen. Okay, y'all. We always get on here at 11:11. Thank you, Jesus. Probably one of the last 11:11s of 2025. But anyway, Tillis Butler, our music teacher, who we loved so much and everybody thought was just such a fantastic guy. And he taught us to sing and he gave us opportunity. And when our parents were dropping us off over there, this is what this bastard would do. Amen. I'm sorry, Lord. Yeah, I'm finna cuss Jesus, but God know I be cussing, and y'all do too. And it don't charge it to me being from Detroit and not my heart. This man would have slumber parties at his house, and the slumber parties. I know y'all like slumber parties. What the hell are you talking about? Well, mind you, keep in mind we're high school students, right? We're not kids. We're not babies. We high school students, and most of us are friends, and most of us rehearse together. And he's our Madrigals Coraliers instructor. So we're all believing that this man is a nice man. All along, and he would even say, like when our parents dropped us off, or we got a ride with our friends' parents, whatever, he'd be like, okay, so be clear, there's not gonna be any funny bits. And here's the thing, you guys, he was gay. Well, I'm sorry. I had to put it back in there. I don't know if he was gay or not. What I'm saying is that he displayed tendencies. Please hit the like button, you guys. Please hit the like button. He displayed tendencies that would lead one to believe that he was gay, is what I will say. You know, he was very. So, and we didn't really, we was just kind of learning what gay was and all that stuff. And I know it sounds ridiculous, but in the 80s, like he was gay just wasn't a thing. Like now it's like he's gay. So what? Everybody is, you know what I mean? But back then it was like a thing and we didn't really know. So we didn't use the term so openly. But what does that have to do with what I'm saying? Because he was a closeted gay man, I guess, he abused young boys. So he would separate the young girls from the young boys, and he would have his sister would be there, and like family member, his niece, there would be like, it was a alleged wholesome environment. And he would have us come to his house and we would stay the night so we could all get up early and get on the bus and go and do our thing and win the competition, because he was an amazing teacher. He was super talented. But he was luring young people to his house and have the boys sleep in the basement so he could creep down in the middle of the night and sexually, oh, I'm sorry, YouTube. I'm sorry, all the outlets that don't want us to say what it is, but actually assault young boys. And he did it for years and years. And years. And he did it to my friends. And they held it for years and years and years. And it jacked up their lives in a lot of ways. So Dwayne and I said, hey, let's write about it, because it's healing and it's therapy. And that social conflict short film is really great. We got some film festivals and some recognition, and it's a really powerful film, but it was based on a true story. It was based on a true story of a man in our Detroit Cody High School. And then we found out that the principals, some of them further down the line, one of them actually ended up getting unalived by someone that they alleged was a family member of one of the young women that was actually assaulted. But my point is, I'm getting hot. Well, all of a sudden, I just, I'm talking that real talk and it's getting hot in here. This is my sister Debbie's fan, too. She gave it to me. Let's see. Okay, that's good. Hopefully, you guys can't hear that too much. Ooh, that feels great. Thank you, Debbie. I love you, Debbie. I think I'm getting hot because this is kind of some heavy subject matter. Please hit like while I'm cooling off. But yeah, so when I say I'm not an expert, I'm not an expert by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not an expert, but I'm a friend and a daughter and a sister to people who have been victims and who have been afraid to speak out because when they do, nothing happens. And nothing has been happening since I was 14 years old. No, far beyond that. I'm sorry. I was born to a mother who was a victim of childhood SA, right? So when I run into a Sarah Stokes who experienced some very similar things to what my mother experienced, and I'm being very respectful of the fact that I have family to consider. I don't believe that you just out people and, just again, the predator is gone, right? But there are other people who have to relive that trauma when you start talking about it, and you don't know how people are affected by it. So I try to tread very lightly, although it infuriates me and it makes me angry to know so many people I love, so many people I care about, so many people I wonder why they were so broken, were victims of SA by powerful people. No, our music teacher was not a wealthy, powerful person, but he had power in the public school system. He had power in that he had the ability to convince us that anything was possible and help. I mean, y'all might not even have experienced Brownstone or experienced me as an artist had it not been for this man who was molesting boys in our school. How fucked up is that? I'm sorry, it's late night. I cuss. I'm sorry, it's fucked up. And YouTube's probably gonna snag me on that. But I mean, what do you say? It's messed up. It's terrible. It's not nice. It's not cool. I'm so sick of the sugar coatery in this month. I'm sick of it because people are broken and they are raising children who become broken as a result of their brokenness. And we are a society that has just um, uh, made it okay to just ruin people's fucking lives. And then a voice like mine with my big ass mouth and passion. Okay. Let's reset the room a little bit. I gotta sing. Do do do. Do do do. Do do do. Do do do. Come on, y'all. Do do do. Do do do. Do 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 do. Hey. I've longed for you since I was born, a woman sensitive and warm, and that you were. With pride and strength, no one could. Okay, now I'm messing up his words. Whew! That was my mom's. You took me riding in your rocket and gave me a star. But at a half a mile from heaven, you dropped me back down to this cold, cold world. You took me riding in your rocket and gave me a star. But at a half a mile from heaven, you dropped me back down to this cold, cold world. Woo! Mm-mm-mm. It's a cold world. It's a cold world. My mom loved that song. I love you, Mom. I miss you. All right, let's get back to this freaking show. So what were we talking about? Justice, rarely, victims, ever, rarely, right? So I went on this whole like little tangent situation just to kind of let you guys know I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. And a lot of people that I know are victims of this. And it is just so disappointing that you just never see justice. Please hit like, you guys. I'm singing. I'm doing magic tricks. I'm in this motherfucker shining. Shining, 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 shining. I think it's just moisturized. But yeah, we don't, let's say this real clearly, right? Let's stop bullshitting. Okay? Women are not failing the system. Victims are not failing the system. The system is failing victims. Period. Why is it that victims are always asked, like, well, why didn't you say something sooner? Why you stay? Why didn't you just leave? Why did you trust your music teacher or your acting person? Why don't you have any flawless evidence of what happened? You're a victim. Where's the evidence? Meanwhile, the powerful people who do this, right, allegedly, they're allowed for the situations to be a little complex and layered and nuanced, right? When victims have to have perfect evidence, a perfect recollection of what happened. And even when you do believe the victims, they rarely get any justice or restoration from their pain. They pass the trauma down to future generations of people in their family. And what's really interesting and what really, pisses me off, because I've experienced this in my own life. And, I'm really grateful to people who are like, I'm so proud of you. You're so brave. I hear that so much. I'm sorry. See, I had to wash that one down with some Topo Chico. That's how I feel about. I couldn't get another one. I was trying to get another one. Sorry, such a lady. That's how I feel when people say, you're so brave. Oh, you're so brave. Right? Bravery as a compliment instead of protection is bullshit. Telling somebody that they are brave for speaking out, telling somebody that they should be commended for speaking out, telling someone that you admire them for being brave enough to risk everything for speaking out instead of helping protect them and help advocate for them is not protection. It is you being complicit. Period. And we're going to get into the celebrity friends and the family friends and the people who encourage the silence. Because it's the silence that protects the power, people. Can I get some likes? I'll sing for y'all again, I promise. I mean, because I know y'all don't want me to do shit but sing in this motherfucker. Would this bitch just shut up and sing? Because ain't not one person watching me on Instagram. Instagram, I have 0 people watching me right now. So I know y'all just want me to get on here and just do a 1-2. I know that Instagram don't want me talking about the silence that protects power. None of them do. None of them do. But guess what? Guess what? She gonna talk about it anyway. We have to talk about the silence. We gotta talk about the silence of our friends. What about your friends? Will they? Yes, they will. The colleagues, the celebrity circles, the people who knew, the people who heard, the people who suspected a little something. I always thought, but didn't say shit. Them said nothing. Why? Let's talk about why. Let's talk about why. That's the reason why. I could tell you why. Fear of retaliation. Fear of being silenced. Fear of the algorithm that is controlled by power shutting you down. The fear of the algorithm only letting one person out of 200,000 people on Instagram see a conversation as important as this about
why there's so much unresolved and untreated trauma in the Black community, the community that is hugely responsible for the success of these apps that don't allow those of us who really give about the community to have a voice. So we just have to speak it and pray that it reaches and touches one or two people. The reason why your celebrity friends and your Instagram algorithm and whatever other algorithm is stopping messaging and conversations like this from going forward is because of fear of retaliation, fear of losing access, right? You don't want to lose access to your following, so you better dance in that video. You got to be all up in the videos dancing. Now, don't get it twisted. I love seeing the dancing videos. I think that it's fun, right? But when we're at a place in this country where we got whole like political folks and super powerful billionaire people and just all the most powerful men in the world, you know, just doing whatever the hell they want to do, it just feels a little, I don't know, not purpose driven to just be dancing and pretending like none of this shit is happening. Yeah, I'm shadow banned for sure. Yep, she said you got to be shadow banning. Ain't no way you just got 3. Right, I'm shadow banned. Without a doubt, I'm shadow banned. And it's okay. Because thank you, TikTok. Well, y'all a little lightweight tonight. But again, there are other, whatever. The message is the message is the message. So fear of losing access. They have fear of being labeled difficult. And fear, this is the biggest one. This is the biggest one. This is the biggest reason why people do not speak out against the powerful when they have done something terrible to them, because they have, or even if they haven't done anything terrible to them, because honestly, let's just say this real quick. Again, this is not about judging anybody, and this is not about pointing the finger, and this is not about, because people do get set up all the time. Like I said, I'm gonna touch a little bit on the MJ, Pac, and Mike Tyson situation in a few heartbeats, but the truth of the fact of the matter is, if I've done movie after movie addressing SA, if I'm an advocate through my nonprofit organization of victims of SA, I'm also on a board of SOS, Saving Ourselves, which my soror, shout out to my soror Christian Nunes, who was the president of the National Organization for Women, who is doing something phenomenal when it comes to protecting us, right? It's really sad to say that we only have one another when it comes to managing this trauma. And people are so afraid of missing an opportunity that they will remain silent when they know that patterns and accusations, y'all, I mean, seriously. One person, maybe they tripping. 2 people, maybe they tripping. 3 people, maybe they tripping. How many people have to say, this happened to me and this person did it? Now, mind you, again, this is not about anyone, because it's crazy. People are just going to assume you're gonna apply this conversation and this thinking to the most salacious, you know, she said this about Tyler, or she said this about the president, or she said it's everywhere. And again, I don't know the details of any of these things. All I'm doing is asking chat to give me an update, and that's it. But fear of missing an opportunity, and honestly, when it gets really dangerous, what time is it? 50 minutes in. When it gets really super dangerous is when silence is framed as neutrality, right? Now, I get the concept of being neutral and cautious, especially after what I just went through, right? However, how do I say it? Where do you draw the line? Where do you say, okay, it's not my job as a celebrity to talk about another celebrity, or it's not my job as, you know, a person who does business with this individual to be concerned about what could be rumors. We just did a big deal with him. We got a movie with this person, or we got a project with, or we got a deal on the table with the it's like at the level that it seems to be happening, it's some deals out there. You guys hold on. Instagram, come to YouTube. I'm going to end the live over there because I'm frustrated when I look down and I see that 0 people are watching. So what's the point of giving them this good information? They don't deserve it. No, they do deserve it. I shouldn't have said that. See? Let me eat them words too. Booyah. I'm sorry to anybody who was watching me on Instagram, but I just can't. I'm just not in the business of being in places where I don't feel welcome, and I don't feel welcome live on Instagram all the time. But back to this. Silence is not neutral. Silence is fuel for a perpetrator. It's that simple. Silence tells abusers that their power has 0 limits, none. Unchecked power always escalates. And that is when people believe the hype. And that whole concept of deifying someone or giving them godlike praise makes them feel even more untouchable. And honestly, it creates more victims. The deeper truth about this is why this keeps happening. And that's the part we don't seem to really talk about enough or confront enough. Why does this keep happening? These systems were never designed to protect women or any victims for that matter. These systems were designed to protect assets, to protect institutions, corporations, political figures, Hollywood heavyweights, hierarchy, period. And it's crazy because justice systems don't really, you got money, you can afford the best lawyers in the world. Like, how many victims can actually afford a lawyer that could go toe to toe with like a billionaire's lawyers like that? Like, it's not even like, okay, I'm gonna wait for a second. I want somebody to tell me. I want somebody to come up with a reason why what I'm saying ain't true. No. The scales are balanced. Honey, these scales in my ears ain't even balanced. Because one earlobe is longer than the other. Now y'all gonna be watching, looking to see which one is this one. But scales are not balanced. Justice is not equal because it requires money to access justice. I don't care what anybody tells you. They need to just change how they describe it. Liberty, truth, and justice for all, or however, please hit like. Please hit like. Truth, liberty, and justice for all, and all that stuff. And just figure out another way to say that, because that's not how it works. That is not how it works. I don't want people to be disillusioned or misinformed by that, because it ain't real. It's not real. You need money. You need money. You need lots of money to go up against a billionaire. You need lots of money. Or power. And power comes in the form of the people. And most of the time, the people are so conditioned to support people with money and power over victims. So you can't even really depend on the power of your truth with the people, because people so caught up in the bullshit of praising people because they have power and money. Favor, delay, exhaustion, silence. That is not a glitch in the matrix, honey. That is its design. That is not an unfortunate chain of events. That is how this country is set up. As long as access to opportunity flows through gatekeepers, abuse will always have a cover. Abuse will always have a shield. Abuse will always get away with the shit. Now, when you start thinking about what do you do if you don't have money? How do you protect yourself if you don't have money? Like, right? Like the person who sexually abused, or actually, I'm sorry. See, you can't even really say the words, which is, again, I'm sorry. I hope these apps don't take it personally, but it's just the truth. I hope you respect me for telling the truth. Instagram does not allow me to reach my following, and I don't like the fact that I can't say the word sexual out loud on some of these other apps without having to cut off letters to make it acceptable. See, that's the thing. Therein lies the problem. Because you can't upset the algorithm. And there's a solution for that. I'm going to have to be careful about how I talk about it. Because part of the reason why my reach is so limited is because I've been spending a whole lot of time promoting this. As a matter of fact, I'm going to run this commercial and then I'm going to get back and we're going to talk about creative ownership, gatekeeping, and the real lever. The thing that's really going to get us out of here. But before I get into that, I'm going to go on ahead and promote this right quick while y'all hit like, because this is the solution, whether you believe it or not.
The timing is divine for real talent to shine, real stories to be told. Watch it all unfold. It's time to set the stage for greatness to be made. Time to prove that we can uplift and entertain. Shows that make you laugh and some that make you cry. News and information to help you find out why. Music, food, and fashion fills who you shows with divine inspiration. Honoraries in my HBCU. We got R&B divas, we got R&B kings, R&B live performers in a film called Broken Things. She speaks live, divas and cocktails. The brand new musical drama, It Girls Diary of a Diva, is coming back all new. A short film, social conflict, producing curtains too. From the bottom of Boulay Central, social conflict and D9 News. Yeah, subscribe and you'll see the power of Divine 9 TV. How it helps community rise up and shine. Owned by the culture, led by the divine. Let's rise up and shine on with Divine 9 TV.com. Owned by the culture, led by divine. Let's rise up and shine on with Divine.
Thank you, beautiful. You damn Skippy. Every opportunity she gets, she's going to be promoting Divine 9 TV because I know they don't want me to. I know they don't, but I'm going to do it anyway. Why? Because that is the solution. That is the solution. And the reason I say that it is the solution is because when you have a platform where you can talk about the things that you want to talk about, and you don't have to take letters out of words and say actual instead of what it actually is. Now, mind you, I want to keep my YT channel. Thank you, YouTube. I appreciate you. Thank you, X. Thank you. Anybody who allows me to go live, I appreciate you, right? Even if it doesn't go out to all those people. But imagine having a platform and a resource that is a safe space for us to talk about issues like this that are taboo for us to talk about. And the reason they're taboo to talk about it, and the reason we can't have these conversations in intelligent ways and really work on problem solving and trying to figure out what the hell we can do as a community to get out of this rut, because we are in a rut, people. We are in a rut. Don't let nobody tell you no lies about this shit. Don't let nobody convince you that everything is okay. It is not. Everything is not okay. Maybe it's okay in your bubble, in your house, in your space, but we got issues, Ike. And until we understand the power of unity, until we understand the power of collective thinking, right? And I'm not talking about groupthink. I'm talking about us being able to leverage the trillions of dollars in buying power that we contribute to all of these other places that won't even allow victims of all sorts of egregious behavior, whether it is sexual assault, whether it is IP theft, whether it is, I don't care what it is, but not being able to have those conversations, reach those people, and come up with strategic, proactive solutions to these issues is going to be the thing that Black folks are going to look back and be like, shoulda, coulda, motherfucking woulda. Because at the end of the day, the power of the media, whew, talk about unstoppable. And guess what? We are the food. We are the consumers. This is where everything connects. This is where we realize, where the rubber meets the road, that creative ownership and gatekeeping is the solution, and understanding what it means to our community and understanding how we leverage it. It is the lever. Abuse thrives where codependency exists, right? So where people feel like the only job that they can get is working for an abuser, they're going to choose work over character and ethics. Well, not everybody, but I've worked in this industry long enough to know that people will set their morals and shit to the side for a gig, and to not have to go back to the type of shit that, you know, these perpetrators are doing at the higher level. You don't want to experience it in the hood. You don't want to experience it with Uncle Chester upstairs. You'd rather just be like, well, shit. If I have to either be silent or acquiesce to something I don't want to do to be able to live my life like it's golden and, you know, be at the parties, all up in the videos, dancing and celebrating and pretending like this shit is not possibly really some serious shit. It's just crazy to me. But anyway, when creatives don't own our platforms, when we don't own our distribution, when we don't own our IP, and we don't own our access, we become more vulnerable because we depend on people with money who have those things. We are always waiting for the next gig. We're waiting for the next distribution deal. We're waiting for the next access to the party. We're waiting for the next invitation somewhere with a bunch of fake ass people who don't like you anyway. And we're caught up in the hype of the illusion of fame, the vapor. Caught the vapors. Biz Markie, rest in peace. Back then they didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all on me, right? Everybody wants to feel like that. And what people don't understand is when I'm talking about ownership all the time, like till I'm blue in the face, it's not because I'm talking about it because it's about money, which, yes, generational wealth is definitely part of the plan, and part of what I think we should all and our kids should all be entitled to. It's the tangible, viable, touchable, provable thing, right? And until Divine Nine TV becomes the hot shit, you know, nobody really believes in it. But the minute we get an injection of capital from an angel investor who sees what we don't see in our own community, and listen, let me tell you something. I'm gonna say this real quick. I'm gonna move off of this, but I believe wholeheartedly that the investment that I need for Divine Nine TV, and to build this platform, I believe that some part of it, some percentage of it, some significant part of it is going to be coming from somebody who's not even a part of our community. Somebody who sees what we don't see. And that's okay. Because that's the other thing we got to stop doing. We got to stop thinking that all skin folk are kinfolk. We got to stop thinking because somebody's the Black inspirational speaker of the whole universe of the United States of the globe, that they have our best interest in mind. Because actions speak louder than words. And I've had way more people, I hate to say, who are not a part of our community, who have reached out and offered help, who understand what I'm trying to build, who can relate to what I am talking about when I talk about ownership, not just being about money, but being about safety. How is it about safety? How is it about safety? How is ownership? I'm sorry, TikTok. Okay, y'all back. How is ownership about safety? Is anybody guess? Can anybody guess what ownership has to do
with safety. People being safe from predators, people being safe from selling their souls, people being not acquiescing, not being silent. Because justice, real justice, true justice, actionable justice, rarely comes from systems we don't own. Equality in any form rarely comes from systems we don't own. We don't hear about the economic empowerment conversation that Martin Luther King had as much as we hear about I Have a Dream, which was, in my opinion, equally as powerful. The reason ownership is not just about money and is also about safety is because you need generational wealth and you need generational wellness, which I talk about often, in order to have protection from systems that were not built to protect us. They don't. All I want to say is that they don't give a damn about us. All I want to say is that they don't give a damn about us. Now, I don't think everybody's out to get us. I don't think that. I'm not going to buy into that fear-mongering tactic. But they don't give a flying frog leg. What we eat don't make them shit. What is the solution? What is the solution? If you're just joining me in this conversation, please hit the like button. Please hit the share button. And if you're watching me from TikTok, X, LinkedIn, please join WIRF.TV YouTube channel because we are monetized there. And I ain't going to cash app y'all to pieces as much as I need to because we are a self-funded operation here. But I will ask you to subscribe to divine9tv.com, like the commercial you just saw, which you will see again before the night is out. I will ask you to subscribe to @Divine9TV YouTube because we need to get 1,000 followers and a whole bunch of watch hours in order for us to become monetized over there, which is important. And please subscribe to divine9tv.com, which is a streaming platform where you'll get pay-per-view concerts, a new season of She Speaks Live, a new season of Diary of a Diva, the new musical drama It Girls, and a bunch of other really amazing things. But what is the solution, you guys? Let's stay on track because we want to be proactive and not just reactive. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Ubiquitous. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for the $5 super chat. It's all about ownership. You guys, make sure you guys hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Let's talk about solutions because, I don't want to just ramble. I want to talk about solutions. We got a couple more topics and, we're going to all related to this, but solutions, of course. Solution is not symbolic, you guys. It is structural, right? What changes this? Not just no hashtag, not just no selective temporary ass outrage, and not waiting for other institutions to save us. Don't save her. She don't want to be saved. We gotta stop expecting people to come in and swoop in and save. Who's gonna do it? Jasmine Crockett can't do it by herself. Kamala Harris cannot do it by herself. Higher Heights can't do it by themselves. The fraternities and sororities cannot do it by themselves. This is a group effort. We are the ones that we have been waiting for. We need real solutions. Solutions like shifting power, not just writing policies, right? Because we know how difficult that is. And we know how many people we got to have in the political. Listen, vote anyway. Less gatekeeping. Less gatekeeping. And listen, when you think about who the major gatekeepers have been in Black entertainment over the last few years, when you really think about it, Diddy, Tyler, Bill Cosby was up there too. A lot of people who have been accused of egregious behavior have been the gatekeepers. And we need more pathways. We need fewer singular points of control. Everybody talks about how this person just built this immaculate, amazing, incredible, astounding, everlasting compound of the land of Oz. But we don't need a wizard to control us. This is mine. This is mine. This is mine. Would you like a piece of it? Here, I'll give you a kernel. Would you like a piece of it? Here, I will give you a kernel. But what about the person that sits across from you and says, "No, I don't want a piece of what you got. I want what you're eating. I want your food. I don't want to come to your lot. I don't want to produce your things. I don't want to be in your stuff. What I want you to do is show me how you did this for yourself, so I can go do this in Detroit. Show, I don't know, somebody from Philly how to do it in Philly. Show somebody from Chicago how to show Selena how to build it in Chicago." We are so afraid of helping each other because you think somebody gonna get a one up on your ass. Or it's going to be revealed that you're maybe not as talented as everybody thinks you are. Whatever it is, I don't know. But this gatekeeping shit in our community, like we got Oprah, we got Byron Allen, we got billionaires on billionaires. We got more billionaires than we had in the 60s. We got more resources than our ancestors ever had. How is it that they were able to accomplish so much fucking more than we were? And no. When I say accomplish more, I don't mean awards and accolades and fancy things and buildings and houses and having a bunch of money. I mean, what have our most successful, wealthy entertainers done for our community outside of entertain them with illusion and grandeur and captivate them with Liberace? How many people have been taught how to fish? I'll wait. We are so caught up in being all up in the videos dancing. We so caught up in being the famous one, the only one, the one that sits up high and looks down low. Why are we not helping each other more? Rhetorical. We need economic protections, you guys. We need economic protection for truth tellers, because people like me who tell the truth, it's easy to make people convince people not to like you. It's easy for the algorithm to shadow ban you. It's easy for people to shut you down and shut you up and make you look crazy and turn you and say that you're a bitch and you don't care about people and you ain't looking out for nobody and you just always trying to be a bully, instead of being a person who really cares about the community and wants to amplify voices of people who deserve to be heard, and not just the bullshit that captivates and compels people. Seabree said, "Miss Nicci, when we say gatekeepers, who placed them there? And did they agree to that position?" If you are a creep with all the power, then you're going to hire more creeps. If you're a creep with the power, you're not going to hire somebody who's going to amplify the voices of people who stand against creeps. I know somebody like that. I've done several projects that address SA and domestic violence and mental health and wellness. And there is a reason why they don't go forward. Not because they're not good, not because they're not important, not because our community does not need to hear them. Because the people who control the narrative, the people who are the gatekeepers, the people who have the platforms, the people who have the ownership, don't want messages like that I'm sorry, not all the people. Let me eat those words. Let me eat them words too. Not all the people, but a large percentage of people who are in power and who are capable and able to make positive, good changes in our community. They won't allow voices like mine the platform. I'm not going to give you my platform to amplify fairness and equality or economic protection for truth tellers. I'm not going to give you my platform so you can talk about the legal defense fund that you're trying to make happen on FromTheBottomUpFoundation.org. I'm not going to give you my platform if you're going to talk about collective backing and revenue sharing ecosystems and shit. I don't want you talking about equality and revenue sharing ecosystems. I'm not going to allow you to big enough platform to really have impact when you start talking about collective courage instead of isolated bravery. See, I'm what you would call someone who is isolated because of my bravery. I'm one voice that's easy to silence. Up, let's shadow ban that big mouth bitch. That's what they do. I am one voice that is easy to just be like, nope. Nothing to see here. Similarities, where? But I spend millions of dollars. I don't care. I don't see none of it. But you know what? One voice is easily silenced. A community is not. But the community is afraid to stand with the righteous. Now, I'm cool because I've never seen the righteous forsaken. I mean, I'm not worried about what y'all think. I love y'all, but I could give two flying frog legs about what y'all think about me. I care about what my husband thinks. I mean, of course, it is. I love positive feedback. I love sharing with you guys or whatever. But when I say the core of who I am, I have to say what I have to say, whether you agree with it or not. And that's okay. That's why I have people on my platforms, from the Angela Stantons to the this is when did we become a society that can't have a healthy debate with people who have a difference of opinion? That's all we did in college, is sit across from people who had a difference of opinion from us and have healthy, intellectual, nonviolent, and hostile debates about shit. And that's the one thing I could say about the Charlie Kirk situation. That's so foul. That's so foul. I didn't like much of what the man said. But I tell you what, there is no reason on God's green earth that he should have lost his life. I don't give how mad you were with him. It was a coward who did it. It was a person who didn't know how to use their big words who did it. And his kids didn't deserve that. His family didn't deserve that. And that shit was foul. And in America becoming a place where you just cannot disagree without there being this like threat against your livelihood and your life and everything you stand for, man, those are the real cowards.com. Collective courage, you guys. It's so important that we have collective courage, and replacing gatekeepers with viable, tangible ecosystems, right? That is the only way that retaliation loses its power. Because the opportunity is not controlled by one person. That is why Divine 9 TV and Worth TV and all of these platforms, I'm the founder, I'm the spokesperson, I'm the mouthpiece, but there are several owners and several people who have invested sweat equity and resources and time and energy into this. That is the whole point of a platform like Divine 9 TV. Because at the end of the day, retaliation loses its power when the opportunity isn't controlled by one person. It's easy to call me crazy. I mean, give me a break. They've been painting a picture of me being a crazy bitch since R&B Divas. Now, why would I just destroy some shit that I created? Didn't nobody create that shit but me. I don't care what nobody tells you. I brought every single person involved in it to the table. Everybody. It was my idea. It was my thing, as was Brownstone, as was Soul Kittens Cabaret, And that's not me. Like, I did that. But why do I have to not be excited and real and honest about the shit that I created? If I was a man, I would be a assertive genius with resources to build studios and shit. But because I'm saying it as a Black woman who I've been painted, to be difficult and, don't listen to her. You see what she did to Selena. Y'all still, I mean, that's so dumb. If you still running around here like not liking me because of some shit that you think happened on R&B Divas, go somewhere and sit your ass down and figure out your life. Because really, if you don't know the agenda by now, then you can't play in this schoolyard. Go home. And I mean that. This is the reason why creator-owned platforms matter, you guys. This is the reason why community matters. This is the reason why Divine Nine TV is so important. I'm just saying. So the question is, if we get down to the nitty-gritty, like, should we stop being delusional about justice? Should we stop believing that is actually like for everybody? And be honest about the fact that it's really just for rich people who can afford great lawyers? Definitely, I think we should. Especially the version of it that we've been sold. The version of justice that we've been sold, right? Because a system that requires us to be brave and alone and risk our safety and, risk our reputations and lose our jobs and shit. That system has failed us over and over and over again. So yeah, we might want to just kind of rethink the concept of believing that justice is for everyone and not just the wealthy and powerful. And I'm not saying all justice, because there are some good folks out there who really care about, who got into, became judges and lawyers and stuff for all the right reasons. But when you don't know the list of the people that were involved in the things that have been going on and debauchery and all that stuff, and you don't know, and they well, no, we can't release that list, because if we release that list, then they gonna know everybody who did it. And is the world ready for that? I don't think so. I don't. Not that I think anything serious would happen. I don't. I think the powerful people are going to be fine because they got the money and they got the relationships. So should we rethink the justice system? Yes. But should we rethink accountability? Absolutely not. No. But what we need to do is stop expecting accountability to come from the same structures that have benefited for years from the silence. And the way that you build something that lasts beyond the headlines, because 2 months ago we was all talking about Diddy, and I don't know how many victims of SA and DV. I don't know how many of the people that reported about it and talked about it 24 hours a day. I don't know how many of them that they helped save. I know we, from the bottom up, the project I did with Queen Latifah and Shakim, and I know we literally saved victims, specifically in Port Huron, Michigan, where this man was a predator for 20 plus years. Now, mind you, it was a beautiful blonde-haired, blue-eyed doll who socked it to his black ass. In case y'all haven't figured it out, I don't have no patience for pedophiles and them people. I probably shouldn't even said that because, I know my video can't go be monetized like that because I'm talking about them people. But that is my point. The fact that we literally have been, through storytelling, through content, amplifying stories. See, I don't be lying. I get hot when I be talking about these. Does I really get hot? Did the shit just go off? Hold on, Debbie. Okay, there we go. I get hot when I talk about these. because for years I have been using my platform. Like I could have just been singing and being cute and like not trying to rescue people and be Captain Save a Hoe, right? And just, probably had more of y'all liking me. Like I probably could have had, millions of followers like some of the other people on the platform that I created have. Because it's just easier to be likable. It's just easier to just acquiesce and just pretend like the shit isn't happening. But something in my DNA, something in the fact that, maybe, Michael Jackson was able to do it through his music, right? And maybe that has more to do with why I got to deal with Michael Jackson than just the fact that I could sing. Because there are a lot of people who can out sing my ass. But maybe that, you know, has something to do with why I'm here having these conversations with y'all, because I am the child of a victim of childhood SA. I'm a best friend of someone who was assaulted by our music teacher. I am the executive producer of a woman whose father molested her and a bunch of kids in Port Huron, and we saw to it that his ass got put in jail because they saw the stories on From the Bottom Up. They saw Sarah Stokes tell her story. They saw her share her pain. And guess what? None of the networks and none of the platforms and none of the places wanted to give us $2. When I tell you the investment made into this documentary, which is why we didn't have a choice but to set up Divine Nine TV. We didn't have a choice. We had to set up Divine Nine TV because it's the only place that stories like Sarah's, stories like the one in Social Conflict with our music teacher. We're talented kids in the city of Detroit coming from poverty, right? Sharing stories of, and many people that we meet are victims. They're probably people, and let me say this, you guys, because I kind of been on one a little bit tonight, right? It's one of them nights with Nicci. If I offended anybody in this conversation, I apologize sincerely because my goal is never to offend people. I think it comes off a little abrasive sometimes just because I've just been a victim in this industry for a long time. I finally am able to say that and really mean it. I have been a victim of people shitting on my name, people lying on me, people stealing from me, people verbally assaulting me, people talking crap about me behind my back, people getting away with all sorts of terrible shit because I have been painted out to be a problem, a shit starter. I'm a fire starter for sure. Because I don't believe that people should have to hold toxic, destructive feelings and actions for the sake of not coming off difficult. I don't care what a horrible terrible human being thinks about me. And you have to be a horrible, terrible human being to not believe that we deserve equality and victims deserve to be heard. And stories that amplify voices of people who otherwise would not have the opportunity to do it don't deserve to be heard. I'm tired of networks saying that my content doesn't have levity. It's too serious. People want to laugh. I wasn't assaulted as a childhood. I just saw a note. Have you been through therapy specifically for childhood assault? I have not been through therapy for my childhood assaults because I did not have childhood assault. My mother was the victim of childhood SA. So I'm a child of a victim. So I guess indirectly, I would be a victim, right? And it's interesting because during Broken Things filming, I said this the other day. What really stands out is there was a moment, and I guess let me rephrase that. Let me reframe that. I am a victim, and yes, I guess in that regard, I have, and not a victim of the actual act because I would never want to claim, the feelings that women and girls and children who have gone through that have experienced.
but being a child of someone who has. And, you know, I've been very vocal about the fact that my mom attempted, you know, to take her life in my home. So I had to get therapy for being, you know, um, there's this like a clip on Instagram that talks about the oldest daughter and the things that the oldest daughter or the oldest child carries, but specifically oldest daughters, and the fact that, you know, you become a mother at a very early age. And that was really my experience, just because my mom suffered so much trauma. Now, don't get it twisted. My mother was a badass. She was a multi-hyphenate. She was beautiful. She was amazing. She was talented. She was phenomenal. But she was a victim. And she was the victim of some terrible shit that we didn't understand as kids. So, you know, we would like, you know, not having the patience for certain things. And again, not to just gloss over this. Yes, my mother attempted to take her life in my house at the height of my career. And I'm saying this and being vocal about it. It's in the documentary, it's in the book. I'll go into more detail about it. But I'm saying that because I understand mental the impact of what SA does to survivors. I watched Sarah Stokes talk about how she attempted to take her life as a result of the things that her father did to her, right? And we don't talk about it because it's quote unquote taboo, but also because nobody really seems to care. I mean, look at all these victims in the Epstein situation. Like how many people have to say this happened? But the other thing I want us to keep in mind and not be, you know, naive about is that it's a different justice system for Black perpetrators than it is for non-Black perpetrators. You know what I'm saying? It's deep. And, you know, R. Kelly and Bill Cosby and who else? Diddy and some of the folks got handled a whole lot faster than some of these other folks. You know what I mean? And that's another reality that we have to face. But that's what you motherfuckers get, thinking that you could just do what they do. And see, that's the thing, right? I think about certain mayors who participate in probably similar behaviors that other people in political power places participate in. But your Black ass is going to have a different set of rules and a different set of consequences, just because, you know, as much as they've convinced you, darling, that, you know, you're one of them because you play in that, you know, sandbox or outside that sandbox. You know what I'm saying? Um, it's just different. It's just different. So I wanted to be clear, you know, in this whole conversation, right? Which, you know, it has not been light. This is Nights with Nicci. Sometimes we laugh and sometimes we cry. Um, I'm really clear based on how long I've been in this business and the things that I've seen. Man, listen, let me just tell y'all this. There are things that I could say about a lot of the headlines. Do y'all think I just say everything? Oh, no. No, I don't. Trust me. There are things that I could say that I truly believe would get me the followers that I need. Talk about shock jock, but I won't. And I won't because I don't want to smoke. If I'm just being completely honest with you, but I've been a lot of places and I've seen a lot of things. And I don't believe everything is for public consumption. And I do believe that, you know, a lot of times people only want the salacious, juicy shit. And the juicy shit that I know would probably, you know, be trending topics everywhere. But that's not how I want to build my brand. That is not what this is about. It isn't about trying to change systems that were designed for men and power and wealth and everybody but a Black woman or a victim. This is about recognizing it for what it is, acknowledging it for what it is, and figuring out a solution that is sustainable and helpful, because I really do care about our communities. I don't always make the best decisions. I don't always say the right things. I'm not as, smart as I try to make myself sound, right? I'm not dumb either, but it's a whole lot more smarter people than I am. And people who have a better way of delivering the message and whatnot. But I'm just tired of the sugarcoating and the bullshit. I'm just sick of it. And I don't have the patience for it. I don't have the tolerance for it anymore. I don't think this industry is a place that you should really be proud to be a part of. And a lot of people would try to disagree with me on that, and that's fine. They're entitled to their opinions like I'm entitled to mine. But I just do not believe that this industry is a safe space for anybody, especially not for women and children. Um there's a question. Have you ever, let's see. I must ask. Oh, let me yeah. I must ask, I may have forgotten, what is the delay on releasing R&B Divas on streaming? There is really no delay. Well, I guess there is a delay. Okay, let me say that the real way. We are casting the show currently. We're having conversations, private conversations with women that we think would be fantastic for a new season of R&B Divas. And no pun intended, but it's all happening in divine order. I wanted to really kind of see if there was opportunity for us to revisit R&B Divas Atlanta with the original cast and kind of, work through some unresolved stuff or whatever. But I really think that everybody's kind of over that. And I think that, you know, that ship has sailed, right? For lack of a better word. I think that ship has sailed. And I think that, anything that we were beefing about way back when is just completely irrelevant at this point. So I think the better thing to do is to give some of the women that we haven't seen, who are really excited about it and don't necessarily have like because most of the women who did the show, and there are people out there who will try to convince you that the reason why is because of me, and if that makes them feel better about themselves, then I'm all about people feeling good. But we know the truth. And I really think a lot of the women attached to the franchise just became disenchanted with it, and are afraid of what it did to their careers 12, 13 years ago, and can't really release that in the way that I think, this would make the show enjoyable to watch. I think it would probably be, like I had that conversation with Monifa. I wanted to have a conversation with Selena, but at this point, I really don't care. And not that I don't care in a bad way, but I think she probably don't care either. Life is lifing, and so much is going on, and who cares about that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't. If the conversation came up and it was a healing moment that we could have, that's cool. But like, I don't think anybody really. And it's a shame because the franchise and the brand, oh my goodness. Imagine the tour and the merch and just giving the fans what they want. But you can lead a horse to water, is all I'm going to say. You can lead a horse to water. Everybody's welcome. All the divas are welcome. I don't have no beef with nobody, from Kelly Price to whoever. I don't, who's beefing about some R&B diva shit or some last year shit or even some last week shit for that matter, when we have way more urgent, pressing issues in our community to think about. And if we can come together in a healing way. I did want everybody to come together to support Angie, but I was trying to get people to come together to support Angie, little inside baseball. When Angie got sick and went to the hospital years ago before she passed away, Angie was suffering, right? She had some issues going on with her heart. She had some issues going on. She had a lot of things going on. And I reached out to everybody and I was like, hey guys, like, can we come together and do some kind of like fundraiser and really help Angie out? Angie was here for it. But,
The response was, it's too much connected to that I don't want nothing to do with. And I get it, but there are plenty of people out there. I've talked to 7 people that y'all love that I think might be really great for season 4 of R&B Divas Atlanta. We're also doing From the Bottom Up as well. We pushed the debut of Divine 9 TV streaming platform back to March 23rd, which is the anniversary of my sister's passing, because I think I said this earlier. 2 of the stars of this musical drama project that we're doing are booked until we've got our cast signed, sealed, and delivered, waiting on 2 people who are not really pivotal roles. Not like that. I shouldn't have said that. Oh, some more words to eat. I can't drink nothing but gulp. Everybody's role is important, but the main lead roles have all been cast, signed, sealed, and delivered, and we are excited to announce the cast. We will announce the cast at the top of the year, and you will get some music at the top of the year, but we're going to actually launch the streaming platform. It ain't no rush. I'm just going to do it. I'm not going and pitching my shit to nobody else so they can take my ideas and run with them, because they ain't got none of their own. Right? All right, guys, this is going on 2 hours, but I just want to say this real quick. Women, victims, creatives, we're not asking for special treatment, y'all. We're asking for safety that does not depend on silence. We are not being cynical or negative or shit starters. We are just being informed. Right? What up, TikTok? I see y'all. What up, LinkedIn? I see y'all too. We're no longer willing to, confuse a settlement or a dismissal with justice. We are no longer going to consider silence peace or the high road or the smart thing to do. The only thing that is going to change what is happening in our community, specifically as it relates to what we see in the media and who's in power in the media. And you guys, as much as many of you may think that this conversation about ownership and entertainment and media, it's interesting because I have a lot of friends who are not on social media, who are not out here, in the entertainment industry trying to be all up in the videos dancing. And a lot of times they're just like, that is the imaginary world. That is not the real world. That is no. I caution you, do not diminish or dismiss the power of the media and this microphone and this music and these narratives on television and these narratives in these blogs and do not diminish the impact of these things, because they affect everything about our community. How we live, where we live, how people perceive us, how safe we are, how unsafe we are, how justice applies. Media and television and storytelling is, since the days that we were in chains, our ancestors were in chains coming over here. From the days in the cotton field. Shit, when you see Close Encounters of the Third Kind, the aliens coming, they playing music. Tones and energies and vibrations and music and art are so powerful. And we learned that lesson when Nicki Minaj sat down with TPUSA. We wondered, how does a Black woman sit down across from a non-Black woman and talk about what Black women need to do to be better received by non-Black people? Or defend non-Black people in the way that our VP did? And again, I agree that everybody should be entitled to have their own political beliefs and to be in the spaces, you know, and make their own decisions. And, you know, just like the Nicki Minaj thing, we talked about it for 2 days and there's another conversation going on today. We don't hold on to shit that is actually important for us to unpack and figure out solutions and be proactive about. It is just gossip and innuendo and a news cycle, and then it is over. And that is why it is so important that ownership replaces dependency. Tomorrow we're going to talk about artist development. I played the clip of me working with Chloe Bailey and Halle Bailey. So if you guys came in here, then please make sure on the replay you take a look. I'm so proud of them. And I wasn't the only person who did artist development with them, but I did artist development with them when they were younger. And I believe that some of the things that I was able to pass down from what I learned at MJJ, thank God Michael Jackson's company was a company that was all about artist development. And not just artist development in terms of your voice and your talent in performing on stage and endurance and shit, but artist development as it relates to how you represent your brand. I will never forget Jerry Greenberg telling us, I talked about this a little bit earlier today. He told us when we was clowning in New York, don't you ever, you are representing Michael Jackson, always think of your brand as Coca-Cola. You know why Coca-Cola been around for as long as it has been. And it's always been the thing that I've thought about in my career. And I get that sometimes the artist shit goes out the door and the human thing has to step in. But until ownership replaces dependency, abuse of all kinds, intellectual property abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, mental abuse, financial, all kinds of abuse will keep finding cover until power fears consequences of community, collective. Can't just be one lone soldier out there. Monique and Nicci, and that ain't enough. We need community. We need support. Until power fears that, until they fear consequence, accountability, more than exposure, then people will never be held accountable. It's going to always be selective based on how much money you got. The only solution, y'all, is we have to build, we have to own, and we have to protect each other and honor each other. Because what I have learned in this fight, all the way to the Supreme Court. Listen, Linda, say what you want to say about me not having an opportunity to go to due process. I went to the Supreme. Listen, let me tell y'all, I went to the Supreme Court. I went to the Supreme Court. I said I went to the Supreme Court. I said I went to the Supreme Court. So like Dre say, I've been there and I've done that. And the one thing I can tell you from my experience going all the way to the Supreme Court by myself with very little support from anybody. That's the other reason why I don't really give a shit what anybody got to say. Because if you didn't stand with me during this trial, if you did not have my back, give me a call and make sure I was okay, ask me if I wanted to go to lunch or have a cocktail. If you did not check up on me because you were waiting to see how it went or because you felt like your silence and being complicit and not really saying nothing was going to provide an opportunity for you. Listen, Linda, I see you. I respect you, where you stand, as long as it's over there, that way. Because over here, we know that justice is not something that we wait for. Justice is not something that we pray for. And justice is not something that we can pay for. Justice is something we have to figure out a way to redesign. Power is in who we are as a community
and our ability to make shit hot. Power is in the $1.5 trillion in buying power that we have. Power is in the Divine Nine organizations that pour into our communities and that lift our people and that encourage our youth to become educated and to become people who contribute something super valuable to society, our communities in particular. There's no space for cowards over here. There's no space for fake ass people who acquiesce to the bullshit. There's no space for people who are going to support people who do terrible things to others just because they think that there's going to be an opportunity on the other end of it. I be seeing them at the parties. It's so many fake ass people in Atlanta. It's so many fake ass people in Hollywood. It's so many people that I don't have time for. People I actually thought I actually was kind of cool with. I was talking about one in particular who, I hope she get what she got coming. Because she's allegedly taking shit from people too. You know who you are, ma'am. And we used to be cool. In fact, I directed her in a few things. I was quite disappointed to learn that she's a fraud. But that's my opinion. And I ain't say no names. But yeah, they out there. And the only way that we can do this is to build, to own, to protect each other. And to redesign a system that was not designed to protect us. That's it. Let me look at these comments real quick. And then I'm going to give you guys my outro. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. Give us a Crayola before you log off. Y'all want me to call Purina? Y'all want me to call Purina? See, listen, I don't even know if I'm going to get in trouble for doing this. This might be copyright infringement. You are right, divine timing, but I hope you keep pushing for it. Yes, hopefully we'll get. Is R&B Divas returning for a new season? Yes, R&B Divas will be returning for a new season. Off topic, I'm sitting here watching play Meet the Browns in the church scene. Aunt Vera ain't nothing like a good man. Ain't nothing like. Thank y'all for loving Vera Brown. That was so much fun. I love David and Tam. Hello, Purina. What's up, girl? What? Hold on, girl, because itty bitty Negro committee over here. I can't do it, y'all. I can't. Because I think that those are copyrighted words. But I almost got my orange patent leather suit up out the cleaners. Because Lene told me that her man was with him. Girl, back. Hold on, let me see what Tommy Davidson, old funny ass one. Yeah, that was fun. Okay, that was my Crayola interpretation. You guys wanted me to give you Crayola. I gave y'all Crayola. And for the Vera Brown fans, I'm going to say, you saw. My son went to Penn State instead of the state pen, baby. Yeah. I'm actually a comedian at heart. I don't know when I started getting so serious about life. Maybe when I realized that this industry is truly smoke and mirrors. This industry is truly a vapor. And the opportunity and the money has wings. The only thing that lasts, the only thing that is sustainable, the only thing that is going to positively impact the community on a much larger, broader scale is our character. And the business has just really become one where character is, in fact, I don't know. I want to say maybe if you have character and you really care about people and you care about community, maybe you just aren't fit to be a part of this industry. Maybe you have to build your own. And that is what we are working on at Divine 9 TV. I'm going to play this commercial and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to sing you guys a song before I leave. But I need y'all to watch this commercial first, please. Da 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 da.
The timing is divine for real talent to shine, real stories to be told. Watch it all unfold. It's time to set the stage for greatness to be made. Time to prove that we can uplift and entertain. Shows that make you laugh and some that make you cry. News and information to help you find out why. Music, food, and fashion fills who you shows with divine inspiration. Honoraries in my HBCU. We got R&B divas, we got R&B kings, R&B live performers in a film called Broken Things. She speaks live divas and cocktails, the brand new musical drama. It Girls Diary of a Diva is coming back all new. A short film, social conflict, producing curtains too. From the bottom up, Boulay Central, social conflict and D9 News. Yeah, subscribe and you'll see the power of Divine 9 TV. How it helps community rise up and shine. Owned by the culture, led by the divine. Let's rise up and shine on with Divine9TV.com. Owned by the culture, led by divine. Let's rise up and shine on with Divine.
Hey. I love that song. Hit subscribe and you see the power of Divine9TV.com. Owned by the culture, led by divine. Let's rise up and shine on. Baby, stop playing. I really appreciate you guys for hanging out with me tonight. Conversations like these are part of the reason why I get shadow banned. And I'm willing to lay on the sword and have these conversations anyway, because what I realize is that when you think about how many people never receive justice, when you think about how many people have lost career opportunities, health, community, feel isolated, feel alone, I'm here for the underdogs. I'm here for the underdogs, and I'm here to keep encouraging us to have ownership. It's not about money. It's about safety. It's about protection. It's about preserving the legacy. I have so much awesome content, like, artist development with people like Chloe and Halle Bailey and other people. There's so many people I've worked with. So many people have been a part. Man, listen, people I've directed in plays and people I've written, things that I was, man, listen. Your girl's been out here in these streets, providing opportunities for people and trying to, I haven't been perfect. I don't think anybody is, but I haven't intentionally done anything harmful. I've just tried to pick up the pieces, the remnants of what feels like something just exploded in this industry, trying to navigate a business that is just like, oh, we're not paying you what you deserve. Oh, we're not being held accountable for taking away your livelihood and your preeminent business assets, because we don't have to, because we're rich and we're powerful and you're not. So again, what is the solution? The solution is to call out situations and systems that don't allow us to thrive. And even if it doesn't get fixed in my lifetime, somebody's going to watch this video. Somebody's going to understand where I'm coming from. Somebody's going to say, you know what? She's right. Because for 30 years, they've had 30 years to paint this narrative in our community that is just so unfair. It's so not who we are. And it's been controlled by people in power. And the reason our folks don't say anything is because they fear retaliation. They fear losing access. They fear being labeled difficult. They fear missing an opportunity. And they fear becoming the next target. And I mean, we might as well just
like throw in the towel and just say fuck it. Like, this is all there is. Is that all there is? Is that all there is? Who knows this? If that's all there is, my friend, then let's keep dancing. So many amazing singers, so many amazing stories, so many amazing storytellers. And unfortunately, our community may never know them, may never understand their struggle. You may never know the real story of Nina Simone. You may never really know the real story of Whitney Houston or Aretha Franklin. You may never know the real story of Bob Marley or Michael Jackson or any of those great people, because their stories and their likeness and their legacy is being controlled by people who owned the narrative. Our kids will never know how great we once were, because it's relative today. Our kids may never understand the importance of the civil rights movement. I mean, shit, they trying to get rid of it in schools and textbooks and all kinds of other shit. Our kids may not know that outside of Tulsa, there was Black Bottom in Detroit and the Detroit Housewives League, who led the nation's first economic boycott. May not understand that. A group of women led the first effective, impactful economic boycott. And the reason our kids may never get that is because we don't have a platform that we own where enough people care. Enough folks in the community have subscribed. Stories that will help people who are victims of sexual assault, like the one that helped the people who were victims of Sarah Stokes' father, who was sentenced to 30 to 60 years in jail because of a little show that we did on BET Her, and it's sparking a question in the little girl's mind. Sarah Stokes, who was the person who did that to you? Are we talking about the same guy? And then when you discover that, yes, we're talking about the same guy. And this guy had been actually assaulting kids in their neighborhood for 20 years. And they didn't believe any of them kids, even his own daughter. So there should be a place for people who have been victims of that to feel like their stories matter. And as far as I'm concerned, that place is Divine 9 TV. So I hope that more of you subscribe. I hope that more of you understand that this is not about wealth. It is about safety. It is about preservation. It is about protection. And if millions of people don't subscribe and build this platform up so we can have a space for our own, then the 5 or 10 or 15 or 10,000 that do will continue to build until more come. So that is the show for this evening. It was a 2-hour show, and I ain't even waste my time telling y'all that this shit was gonna be, short, because I knew it wasn't finna be short. I knew it was gonna be a long-winded ass Nights with Nicci. And I hope you guys come back tomorrow, because we're gonna continue this conversation. More hot topics, headlines, and I'll get to some of y'all questions, because I know I kind of monopolized the conversation with a lot of talk tonight. But this will be there for people who may need to see it. He says stay on. More people are tuning in now. People always start to tune in late, and I've been on here for 2 hours, so I'm not gonna stay on much longer. I hope more people come in earlier tomorrow, because your girl is tired, and I am a wife and a nana and a dog mom, and I done already said enough shit for people to be like, see, that's why. Anyway, guys, you're watching Nights with Nicci. I hope y'all enjoyed this conversation. This is for those of you who do. And please tell somebody, because the more of y'all that pay attention to things that are not tearing us down and instead giving us, something to look forward to, the better. All right. I am Nicci Gilbert,
Mother flipping Daniels if you're nasty. You're watching Nights with Nicci. Kato, you gonna come say, hold on, y'all. Let me see. I stay on here a little long. Kato. Hey, babe. My husband done shut down the bar. I mean, he done had last call for alcohol. Okay, I guess it is a 2-hour live. All right, love you guys. Good night. Please hit like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys tomorrow on Nights with Nicci. Peace.